I have some grievances as a young American gent uh, with my job. I think we can all agree that working in a service industry, whether it be fast food or retail or something to that effect, sucks ass. I think we can all agree on that, at least. Now, I can't speak for everyone, but my first two jobs, my job I currently have and my former job, were both in the service industry. My first job was at McDonald's. My current job is Walmart. And I can say, without a shadow of a doubt, that people suck. No joke. Either you don't do your job well enough to fit their standards, or you don't do your job well enough to fit the standards of your management. Let's hark back to my first job, which was good old Mickey D's. I think one of the first experiences I had with a strange or just rude customer would be maybe a month or so after I started, not too long afterwards. Um, I live in Texas, so summers are humid and they're hot. You know, it was like maybe 102, 103 that day, and the humidity was just god awful. And lo and behold, we had the best of luck, and our ice machine breaks down. But I think all stores sell individual bags of ice that customers can buy for like $1. On this particular day, as I said, our ice machine was broken. So we were not selling ice in bags to customers because we needed that ice for the drinks, which were our main seller, rather than bags of ice. So I'd say about an hour or two into the day, guy comes in. Hey, can I get a bag of ice? To which I reply, oh, I'm sorry, sir. We can't sell bags of ice because our ice machine is broken. To which he responds in the most polite way possible, go shove a stick in your ass, and he drives off. Now, that was just the lightest, like the smallest bit of what I got on a normal basis, just a daily fucking basis. Something I've never understood about customers was their need to harp on just young people for trying to do their job as best as they could in the circumstances that they are dealt. I've never understood that because what I usually think is, well, if you think you can do so much better than me at my job, which I'm trained to do, just come back here and try it. And I want you to live a day in the shoes of a service employee. Now, I'm not saying that McDonald's was the toughest job in the world, which it wasn't, but it had its days that were good, and it had its days that were terrible. More often than not, you'd have a bad day, whether it be a crappy manager running the store that afternoon, or it be 4 or 5 people calling in, and like as I said before, I live in Texas, so football is very, very big, especially in small towns where we have, for the most part, a lot of pride in our football teams. Now, a lot of people travel through my town, and a lot of people fucking come into town for football games, or they leave town to head to a football game or whatever. But it's usually football nights, but especially homecoming, that we have just the worst luck. A good majority of our workforce, my last year, working at McDonald's was high schoolers. Now they would want to be gone for homecoming or like a game or prom or something. So that meant we'd be short staffed a good majority of the time. Now, I was also a high school aged individual at the time. But I had dropped out of school because I started a family. Now, as much as I want to rag on the high school students for missing their shifts or whatever, I'm not going to do that because I really don't care. But days like that were really crap, to put it lightly. I don't think I ever had a good day on a football game night or like a homecoming or like prom or something because they all sucked. They were all awful, god awful. But after McDonald's, I decided to get a more grown-up job, stocking shelves at the local Walmart that we have. Now, when I first started, I was an overnight associate, which meant I was stocking the shelves and doing all that beautiful jazz from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Good old graveyard shift hours. Now, I don't think we ever had too many rude or unruly customers, but I think there were a couple instances where we had the local drug addicts come in and just kind of skulk around a bit, look down each of the aisles, and maybe if we were unlucky they'd steal something. But I think my biggest peeve, especially during the summer when our store was still 24 hours, were high schoolers coming in at all fucking hours of the night just to be rude and obnoxious. And I know I'm complaining, and yet I'm still young and I should just let them be because they're just kids and they're just living their lives the way that they're supposed to, having fun and stuff like that. But no, I'm going to complain a bit because high schoolers in small town Texas fucking suck. Okay? They fucking suck donkey ass. Now, I'm rambling on a bit here, but that's fine. Back onto the story. We had maybe, I'd say, 2 instances where late night customers would come in and possibly try to pick a fight with another customer, which was always strange. Like, it's 3 in the morning. How do you have this energy? You don't even look like you're on, like, fucking meth or something, and yet you have the energy to come to Walmart at 3 in the morning when there's, like, practically nobody and try to start a fight with another customer? I've always found that kind of strange, to say the least. Now, maybe it was just a product of the fact that we were in a small town, but knowing a large majority of the base of people who go to the store and who stay up at all the odd hours of the night it kind of had its perks. Maybe every now and again you'd get a good friend of yours or like someone you haven't talked to in a while come through and just kind of bullshit with you while you had absolutely jack all to do at fucking 4 in the morning, because that's what it was like. Sometimes you have a night where there was absolutely nothing to do and you were just basically wandering around the fucking store for 8 hours from 10 to 7 just waiting for 2 o'clock in the morning so that way you could go to the break room and have your freaking lunch. And like I said, small town in Texas, nothing is open at 2 in the morning. Absolutely nothing is open. The only thing you can find open at that time are gas stations, and that's it. Gas stations and the Walmart. That was all that was open at 2 in the morning in my town. So you see, we did at one point have a 24-hour McDonald's until some drunk drivers in the drive-through decided to screw it up for everybody and just ram their car into each other, because that's what people do. They ruin it for the majority. Um, maybe. Fuck. I forgot what I was gonna say. Let me take a swig of this real quick. Shit. What was I saying? Fuck. Maybe I could just harp back to just a weird story. Just to kind of end this out and give my little workplace rant a rest. When you're in public, and you know you're in public in the middle of the day where there's many people around, possibly some small children, please, for the love of God, do not talk about your genitals in the middle of a store. In the middle of the grocery section, no less. Now, you see, a good while back, I was doing my job. Stocking my shelves, just minding my own business, like you would, you know, if you're a good employee such as myself. When all of a sudden I overhear two women conversating in an aisle over, to which one woman mentions her sopping wet camel puss. She called it a camel pussy. Not a camel toe. Not a moose knuckle. Not a fucking snatch or something. She called it a camel pussy. Now, I don't know about you, but to me that doesn't sit very right in my stomach. Who in their right fucking mind would call their vaginal area a camel pussy? Maybe if it was dry, I could understand, because, you know, the desert's dry, and I'm assuming camels get dry in the fucking desert. That's why they have the humps to store water or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just me who's overthinking all this whole thing, and maybe I just need to take a break from my job. Maybe people need to stop being assholes. I think that would help too. Or whatever. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I might go into more detail on some of the horrifying and fucking stupid experiences at my jobs. But until then, I'm just gonna give this a rest. Rant over. See you later.